with Human Services Family Caseworker. Listen in for insights and detailed information on core topics such as the disciplining of the child, the integral involvement of men, and the empowerment of women in the family, parenting and associated laws, child and drug abuse, domestic violence, and teenage pregnancy. Call in to air your views and make your contributions on 459-7885 or 459-7888. Family Matters on 88.5 Soufre FM.
Anyway, we have 50 minutes after 11. This is where we say good morning, welcome inside for the first. Yeah, so we're making the debut for the year of 2024, all right? Family Matters. Yeah, am I right? For 2024 is the first. Okay. I think the last time I met up with you guys was sometime in October. Yeah. Well, the body requires rest. So, you have to go. And, mentally, you have to. Your mental health is of utmost importance. So I need a little break too. So yes. So folks, this morning here with me, Inside Casualty. Oh, come on. Family Matters. My goodness. Family Matters. All right. Today is what? The 10th of January 2024. Let me welcome you. Of course, the host herself, Ms. Bondiemaitre, is here along with her. Should I put as a guest? Should I say guest? You know what? If I stand to be corrected. So, yeah. So, welcome, ladies. There are no strangers in here. Yeah, no strangers to here. All right, so welcome. Welcome. Talk to us. And Happy New Year, because I see you all yet.
Thank you so very much, Olan. And with me is my intern, Edisa Eugene. Right. So, yes. And today we are going to speak about behavioral issues with children. Okay, and before I continue, again, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year, and thank you those of you who have tuned in, who are listening in, and I would love that you would call in with your contributions. I've not had much of that before.
Let me give you the number 730-5388. Again, number 730-5388.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say, Miss? Before?
Well, good morning, everyone. Of course, I am Edisa Eugene, no stranger to this place. So, of course, thank you all for tuning in and look forward to a great discussion this morning.
Definitely.
All right, great. This morning, I chose this subject, of course, as an appeal to a lot of my parents. Regarding our children and how we go about working with them. When we speak about the behavioral issues in children, we speak about how children behave, also how we parents, even teachers in the schools as well, we discipline our children. Okay? Children, like I've said to some parents before, most of the parents before, that sometimes, and I stand corrected, we start disciplining children. We want to start disciplining them at a particular age. For example, maybe when they're in their preteens, teens, or 8, 9, 10 going up. This is when we try to discipline them, because to us, we believe that children, when they're a year, 2 years, 3 years, they have no understanding. Right. Okay? What do you think, Miss?
And I can definitely agree to that. Even just by observation, I think it's a community thing where you find a lot of the young parents shying away from disciplining children at a very young age. And I must say that I believe that disciplinary action should begin as soon as that child has some type of level of understanding. And I think by the age of 2, a lot of our children now are actually able to comprehend what is going on around them.
I like that because persons actually look at pre, especially kindergarten, not even kindergarten, like preschool. Persons tend to send their children at maybe 4, well, like you mean maybe 2.
Yeah.
You at a year and 6 months, you'll be surprised the level of understanding that one child of yours have.
Sure.
I would say a year.
Okay.
Because I have a niece at my home. She's a year and she has understanding.
Yo.
So another thing that we parents need to do, part of our disciplining model with the children is to model behavior. You model behavior. So if you were to instill in manners and discipline in your child, for example, every time you give a child something, thank you, thank you, and they will repeat after you. They will repeat after you, and eventually they will be saying thank you.
Right.
Okay, they do something, excuse me, even though they cannot say it, they cannot speak it out properly because they may be very young.
Right.
Of course, you'll start hearing them because they repeat everything they hear. So a lot of the behavior in children is modeled by us, whether it's good or bad. So we now have to be very careful how we deal with our children, what we do around them,
True.
how we behave around them, and so on, because everything starts from home. So a lot of, like you were saying, Miss, a lot of times you'll hear parents saying, "Oh, they don't have understanding. It's okay. Or boys will be boys. Oh, that's how they are. You know already. That's how they are." That is ridiculous. You need to start disciplining your children, okay? And a lot of times children need tough love. And when we talk about tough love, we talk about making sure that the child does what he or she has to do. For example, if you have said your bedtime is 9 o'clock,
Right.
you've given a bedtime, and you realize for some reason you were distracted, it's 10 o'clock, this child is not asleep. Your form of punishment, whether it be to take away a tablet or something they like, or whatever form of discipline you have, right? You instill it, not because the child cries and so on, throws a tantrum to say, okay, next time. No, you put your foot down. You know what you need to do. You need to do to curb certain behaviors. Because when you allow it to flourish, then when the child reaches the age of 14, 12,
Rebellious.
they become rebellious. They become, but you've been allowing me to do it, but I've been getting away with it. So why now do you want to stop it?
Yeah.
And
And I
it's-
think that is actually some of the actions that especially our parents these days don't take into account, that there are actually different forms of punishment. When we speak of punishment, I think a lot of parents have that mindset, like it's
Yes,
totally
definitely.
corporal punishment. But like you mentioned, Miss, just the simple act of taking away a child's tablet when you realize, okay, you were distracted for quite some time and it's time for bed. Even taking away other things that you believe that they are really interested in. So if it's that, okay, tomorrow you're not going on the field because you didn't follow my orders and this and that, that's a form of punishment. I think parents tend to see like, okay, it's not too effective. But again, it comes down to maybe the parent understanding their children as well. And you would know the right action to take when it comes to your child, because different children definitely need different forms of punishment.
Definitely, because that's why it's very important to learn your child, to know your child, and what works with your child.
Sure.
Because what I may use and you may use are totally different, because you have two different. And it brings me to my other point of saying you need to learn your child, because sometimes children behave certain ways and we take it for granted that something is not right with
Yeah.
our children. Okay, so you see this child is always so hyperactive, and this child is not listening, as you were to say, and somewhat disruptive. And you have tried different methods of assisting in terms of behavior, in terms of, and you realize it's not working. You need to take this child for an assessment. You need to reach out for help. I know in our culture, it's always said that, you know, counseling says afe moon or makai spend la ha mo point I manage my therapy kisa money. You just not better. And a lot of times, sometimes children have mental illnesses. Okay, I mean, they're not diagnosed very young.
Right.
Okay, because when a child is very young, they will tend to tell you, okay, it's too early for that. But if a child is behaving in a certain way that you realize you've tried everything, reach out for help.
So there's signs.
Okay, there would be signs. Reach out for help. Don't leave it onto your own accord. Okay,
Right.
no, you reach out for help. Okay, you take the child into a professional. If you do not know where to go, you would go to the school, speak to the teacher, speak to the principal, ask them for assistance. Or if you know a social worker, you reach out to a social worker. If you know a counselor, reach out to a counselor. Reach out to somebody to assist you with this particular behavior. So don't just leave it and say, okay, no. Because at the end of the day, it will get worse. All right? And like I've said before, well, we're not talking about where the children are too young to be diagnosed. But in cases where they are diagnosed and they need medication, I've heard parents say, Pamo you can medicate ishmoy, PS ishmoy pa can medicate, whatever. I have said it before and I'm going to say it again. The same way you take a Panadol for a headache,
Right.
sometimes you need to get medication for emotional issues, mental issues, and whatever it may be. You
Right.
need to get medication as well.
Yes, and of course, I think I would want to add that even with the way that parents approach it, many times again with them shying away from therapy, I think it's because again, yes, our culture doesn't really allow us to, because we have that mindset like we always know. But in our culture as well, I think parents too need to start to be a little different in terms of, like we said, take time to understand your child. You would definitely know whether that child needs therapy. Monitor your child. There are times the actions would be different, so you would definitely be able to tell, okay, something is wrong or not. So again, in our culture, I think that is something we should adopt, where we try to understand our children a little more.
So let me ask you another question. Does a setup, playroom, or environment contribute to that behavior pattern in a child?
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most
Because
definitely.
I know there might be parents trying the utmost. Boy, they from the slums, they from the ghetto, but they're trying. But again, the environment, kind of conducive environment, and the child is part of that.
Yes.
Will that actually come in play?
Yes, I would want to say yes. Reason for this, and like you said, there are times there are parents who do try. There are parents who try. However, I think sometimes some of these children need to be taken away from
The
that
environment.
environment. It is true some parents cannot afford to take them away from the environment. But again, it can come down to us trying to see what are the best ways that we could actually approach this, knowing that like we would quote it, the ghetto. We know what goes on in the ghetto. Try to think of, okay, maybe I realize he's trying to go down the smoking line. What can we do? And come together and try again, seek advice from somebody, a teacher, a pastor, and see, okay, maybe he's not too deep as yet, so definitely that is something that you need to look at an early stage. So yes, I definitely agree that the environment is a contributor to behavioral issues in our children.
And with that being said, you two into sports as well, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen, even when in regards to sports, the activities. You see persons, boy, very nice, I regular, I fella, well mannered. But when it comes to sport or some person realize, or children realize they're losing, like they get aggressive, they display a different behavior.
Right.
Yeah, you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
So I believe, well, I guess a lot of persons too, on the receiving end have seen too. And how can we curb those sort of things?
I would go back to the home. Sometimes you watch certain.
More so, I remember that.
Pardon?
At home, everything is nice. More is everybody nice, everybody
No.
well mannered. But sports wise,
Okay,
everybody wants to win.
listen to that, sir. Again, when you were watching certain, even once I was watching Monster Truck with my son, Monster
Alright.
Trucks with my son.
Yeah.
And there is this particular one I can't remember, the red one. He's always winning. And I said to my son, but why is he always winning? No matter what, he's always winning. I think that they need to put, whether the shows, the children, whatever, some of the main characters, the star lose sometimes. So we need to start telling our children, modeling in our children that you will fail sometimes.
Right.
You will lose sometimes. You will not always be at the top sometimes. It's okay to fail. And because even parents, teachers, and all, they develop that competitive nature in children, and then children are not taught. Children are not taught that it is okay to fail.
Right.
I do not breed failures, and I do not, and sometimes even I am guilty of it. But then I will come back and tell my children, you know what? It is okay to fail. Now, when you fail this time, you work harder to go back. So some children do not know what it is to fail, or they cannot accept it because they've not. And even though you've been taught, yes, you'll be angry, you'll be emotional, and so on. But again, there's not much, I don't know if you would agree with me, that you would do about that in terms of, I'm really looking forward to that game, and I lose that game, I'll be really upset, right?
Right, because don't drift away, because even in our schools, you see, I apologize if anybody get offended, but sometimes you get a little preference. You understand? The child that is more academic than the one that is, and then all that. What you trigger in that other child's head? You understand? Those things, I don't want to go down that line, don't get me wrong, but let's not pretend it doesn't exist.
It does. It does. Definitely. And again, what I'm saying to you, I would bring teachers on board and parents on board to teach children it is okay to fail. It is not okay to keep failing, but it is okay to fail. Because there are times you will. There are times your average will go down. There are times you'll lose a spot in activity. There are times sometimes somebody's always better than you. You've always been winning your races, always coming first. And this year, the child who's coming second will say, you know what? I'm determined to beat Edisha. This year I'm coming for Edisha. And let me tell you, this child will train and come for Edisha. So you now sometimes you become complacent and believe, okay, I'm always winning, so nobody can beat me on the track, You become complacent, and then boom, somebody pass you. Just like your exams the same way, you've always been coming first in class, and this person is determined to pass you. So that is why, again, I'm saying to you that we need to teach our children that it's okay to fail. It's okay that sometimes you'll lose. You'll not always win. Because just like you find we say that information changes and information gets even broader, like more research is being done all the time, that you have to keep in the times. It's just like with the children, you would say that somebody will come and better you. Somebody will come overpower you. Somebody will win you. But it doesn't mean that you're a failure or that you're not doing well.
I want to ask you another question. I know they said we are both of you, but tell me some of the biggest behavioral problems. You have lying, I know, you have stealing, you have cheating. So what are the biggest our society being faced with? I know you guys just do your homework, you guys just do your research.
I think some of the
you
biggest...
fight with adults, children fighting with their mother, father, sister, tantrums, throwing tantrums.
Abiding to rules would be our biggest behavioral. Abiding to your rules, abiding to set rules and so on, because you find children don't like to be restricted. I don't like you to tell me what to do, even adults. I don't like you to tell me what to do. I don't like, sometimes a child would deliberately challenge authority, challenge rules, challenge regulations. So I would think that would be our biggest issues, our biggest disciplinary issues.
I think the kind of homicide rate, but I know persons like being like vengeance, all those kind of things, contribution, like some big factors.
Yes.
I would also add, as you said, a lot of our children cannot abide to rules, and I think in line to that, I can also add defiance, aggression.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And I think all of that in itself would become the great pack as to the behavioral issues that are definitely evident in today's society.
Okay, someone listening to you just commented that. At what time should one take action as a parent?
Early.
What is early?
From
what
a year.
Early?
Because a child is able to have understanding, like she said, at least by one year. Because by 6 months, a child is already basically developing some comprehension skills. So again, we're not expecting you to go about and just beating that child, but try to instill it in them as to, hey, this is wrong, and you're not supposed to react this way, and you teach them, okay, this is how you respond to certain things.
And you said there's as much as one can take. You know that both of you guys are human, and you know parents, and that's how you talk is on multiple occasions. There's as much, and while you will not say do not refer to corporal punishment, that's you know that you know that parents.
I'm not saying not to refer to it though. I'm just saying that it's not supposed to be the first thing at an early stage. So if you realize there's a continuous behavior where, okay, I told you don't do it this way once, don't do it this way twice, of course it's okay.
So as a parent, I come to you, Kupa Kowishi.
Well, you get persons who say that.
I tell you,
You
it's the
get persons
reality.
who say that.
It's the reality
Then
of
they
it.
will, and that's exactly
Yes,
what she's saying.
yes,
That
yes.
because of our culture, you find because of our culture, and I'm speaking from an experience as a teacher and a parent. So you find in our culture that sometimes, unless you tell a child, you show them, even though you don't beat, but you show, I'm going to beat you, take a ruler. But the minute you speak and you can speak out. So this is why we're saying the speaking is not helping. So find different ways, other alternatives. Get the corner, face the corner. Okay? Sit in. At break, have your break sit in. Or at home, put off the television, no television, no tablet. The tablet is a major one. Take the phones. Okay? You're not going to your friend's home as I promised. Different things. You cannot just only be beating or talking.
True.
It will not work.
True.
Because they will get used to the beating. You know, I heard my nephew tell my sister, beat me instead, but do
What?
not take
What?
my tablet.
Mama.
Yes, he said, beat me instead, but do not take my tablet away. So again, you have to learn your child. Learn what works and does not work for your child.
I like the word you use there, learn. Now, let's go back again, learn. Can a child behavior problem interfere with his day-to-day activity, school, whatever?
Definitely. Most definitely. Because if you're a disruptive child, of course it will hinder your learning. That when you're supposed to be focusing on your schooling, you're supposed to be doing your work, you're too busy misbehaving. That again, and that is why I'm saying that we don't take it for granted that this child is just misbehaving because he just likes to misbehave. There may be something wrong. For example, in the classes, a child is just very disruptive, and we say that child is just ill-mannered and and we don't take the time to assess this child. There may be a hearing problem, there may be an eye problem, there may be some kind of impairment, and you don't know what is happening with this child unless you assess this child. This child cannot process what is being said, what is being done in the class, and if I'm not going to understand you and I cannot follow, I'll just be disruptive. I'll find another way. Okay? I will be disruptive.
And again, and even when we have our teenagers, even before you tell the teenagers, you know, they go through so much. So maybe something violent, something scary, some kind of abuse. You know, those things actually contribute to the way a child actually behaves.
Most definitely. Again, when we were speaking about, again, when we were speaking about childhood traumas. Remember we had this show of childhood traumas?
We did.
Right. So this is why, again, I've always lamented, and I will keep lamenting on deal with your childhood traumas. Now, you have your child, and you've, again, learn your child. Learn your child. Because children will not just come and tell you, mommy this happened or daddy this happened, not all the time. So you learn your child. If you realize there are changes with your child, this child who has always been outspoken and so on, all of a sudden becomes very quiet, withdrawn. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Speak to this child and don't give up. Do not give up on the child, because the child may not at once come and tell you this happened and that happened. You have to keep asking or find different ways of turning things around to actually get to the bottom of it. You have to be patient with your child. You have to. So when you learn your child and you know that, okay, you have been a particular way, and I'm realizing, all of a sudden, that child who likes to eat so much is not eating.
Right.
He or she doesn't have a fever. Nothing is physically wrong because I've assessed and no, something is up. I need to get to the bottom of it. Okay, if you're not going to speak to me, I'm going to take you to the priest. I'll take you to the teacher. I'm going to take you somewhere. So, okay, right. So start speaking. Tell me what's happening. So we need to find out. Again, as I said, learn your child. Pay attention. This is how you know. Even going through the changes, maybe nothing external happened to this child, but going through puberty, a child is going through the different changes. The body is changing, the hormones are changing. 1 minute you hyper, 1 minute you cool, 1 minute. Learn your child. You need to learn your child and work with your child. So if you're having a teenager, a child is moving from 12 going into 13, you already the parent, do some research. Okay, I know our society is not like that, our culture doesn't call for that, we're not like that, but start doing research, because sometimes your own understanding and your own way of doing things is not enough, because things are changing now, so we need to start doing research as well to find out, okay, how best to deal with this teenager, how best to deal with whatever is going on. Okay, if you realize, okay, my child is maybe there are more pimples than usual. Take the child to the doctor. Or maybe the mood swings are becoming outrageous. Take the child in for an assessment.
And I think a lot of parents need to fix their relationship with their children or their child. Because parents always believe like we have to be dominant and they have to be submissive. We always feel like what we say goes. But the child too has a voice.
Definitely. Definitely.
And actually, when you build a relationship with your child, you're actually able to learn your child a little more.
True.
Like you said, it's okay to listen to your child sometimes. Just when they want to vent, it's okay. Allow them to vent. Because it's sometimes through venting, you maybe would learn about the trauma or something that would really be allowing them to behave the way that they are. And so I would definitely want to just urge our parents listening to try your best to build that positive relationship and rapport with your children. Whether it be, just on a nightly basis, you call him or her into the room and you'll just chat randomly. You'll speak about the most. It doesn't have to be, are you having sex or whatnot? Oh, how was school? Just small talk. How was school? How you feel today? Tell me about your day. Simple conversations like this would actually allow parents to understand how their child relate to certain things in society, how they respond to persons, and then maybe you would be able to tell them, okay, maybe today you should not have answered Andrea like that. You could have done that instead. And these are just a few tips.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you're doing it in a smart way that, you don't
Right.
allow them to feel bad, where they too would just feel like you want to tell me what to do or
Right.
whatnot. So building a positive relationship, not just a relationship, a positive relationship with your children is essential.
Yes, and as you said, I think I've mentioned it before, where I said sometimes you could have, like Jukba used to have Deacon Way. You have with your child, this session at whatever time you choose.
Right.
Make sure you lay your rules for that Deacon Way. You're not going to be disrespectful.
Right.
You have your boundaries. So come out. Just say how I make you feel. Ask questions. Am I doing something to upset you as a parent? I mean, and we parents come down to our children's level as well.
Right.
And when you come to that deacon way, not only what others do to affect you, but what I as a parent do to affect you. So maybe, okay, tell mommy, how can I do it differently? How, you're not going to let the child be the parent, but you listen. Give that child a voice. So
Right.
deacon way will say, okay, mommy, this morning, you shouted at me because whatever, you didn't even take your time to see it wasn't me who threw the tea on the floor, and you shouted at me. And then because I was rushing to work, I didn't take my time, and of course I disciplined you, it wasn't your fault. So during our deconvoy session, you tell me that, I'll say, well, I'm so sorry, apologize. And there's something parents we don't know how to do. Apologize to your child. Even teachers, you don't know how to apologize to your students. Learn it, please. When we are wrong, it doesn't matter. Learn to apologize.
Well, never
Bring
believe
yourself
that you're too
down.
old to apologize.
I'm
Sorry for
telling
that.
you.
Never believe that
But
you're
that is
too
so
old
true.
to apologize.
We need to learn to apologize. Definitely. It's very important. Because I have had situations where I've heard certain people say, me apologize to a child? Like, seriously? If you are wrong, apologize. It doesn't matter your age. Okay? We must learn to apologize. Something else with parents. We tend to think, okay, by loving our children is to allow them to do what they want. Okay? That is how we love our children. We give them what they want. Mommy, I saw that. Help me out with the brands because I'm not really a brand person.
Let's say Gucci.
Right.
That's what I know.
So right, Mommy, I saw that Gucci bag and I want it, whatever, because my friends have it. Susie, this Gucci bag is like $300. So, Mommy, but all my friends have it. If I don't have it, I will be left behind. You, Mommy, now your salary is like $1,000 and you have all your bills, everything. You're going to buy that Gucci bag for that child because it makes my child happy. Really? You have to teach your child. You are a leader and not a follower.
Right.
So not because your child, Sandra has it and Dane has it, that you, Susie, must have it. No, I cannot afford it. Okay? So we need to teach our children. Do not hang your hat where your hand cannot reach it. And a lot of our parents do that.
Pack your wage.
Because we want to show that's love. No. Because when you cannot do it, you know what?
Yes.
Yeah, and
They
that's
will
dangerous.
They will go and tell Ellen, can you buy this for me, please?
It's not even just that though.
Yes.
It's not
They will
just
go
that.
get
I
it.
think even earlier on we mentioned competition.
Yes.
So while they grow up, they would feel like,
Right,
okay,
right,
I always
right,
have to
right,
be in it, and this girl cannot be better than me.
Than me,
So I will
right.
always try to be better, do better,
Outshine,
get this,
outshine, yes.
and we need to, like you said, not because you want it, that means you need it. That's what we have to
Exactly.
teach them. Your wants
Yes.
are not always your needs.
Right.
Because you have a bag going to school, well, it's just a brand. And I mean, these brand designers are very smart.
If it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you
Definitely.
have one already, why? So I think, yes, it's okay to love your child and provide for your child, but provide for your child when
At
it
your
comes
own
to,
means.
yes,
Yes.
and providing needs, not just the wants.
But well said, because honestly, that's from me, from the outside looking in there. Yo, a lot of parents get their children too much leeway.
Too much.
Way too much leeway.
I always say that.
I
Too
mean,
much.
you're not an adult. You don't have the age yet. You're outside fetting, so
Yeah,
so many
recently
things, so many
I mentioned, I know when I was at a younger age, maybe by about the latest I think I was outside, and how I used to be outside is only because, of course, I used to be playing sports, and I was always with the guys, so I was playing sports and whatnot. But apart from that, I had to be inside. I know that the routine is you come from school, homework, get it done before you go out. Nowadays, I think children don't have these rules. There are no ground rules as to, okay, when
That's
you
what
get
I'm
home, do this.
saying.
It's like, okay, will you change outside on the road?
both male and female, girls and
Females.
boys. Let me say, girls and boys. Sometimes they dress so much. You never know who's the
But
Right.
I'm telling you,
And then one thing I don't appreciate now is the fact that, like you said, a lot of the fetes, you would even find children present. Like, what are you doing there? Like, where's your mother?
Miss
Oh, the mother is at the fete and the child is also at the fete. Like,
Juve last year, Christmas Juve last year. Sometimes I have to take off my social work hat because I will get myself in trouble. Grade, not secondary, grade 5 students, grade 6 students at Juve. 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I called on one and said, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm there with my mother. So if you're there with your mother, what do I tell the mother?
Yeah.
What do I say? I said, okay. And then tomorrow, they will come to me. Miss, I don't know what to do with her. I don't know what to do. Please help. Seriously, it starts from home. Develop a routine. Okay, this is a child. And my daughter asked me a question, which was very important. She said to me, Mommy, are you my mother? Are you mom's friend? So I said to her, Mom is my mother first. And yes, we're friends, but with boundaries. And I am your friend because I know that's what she was going to ask me. I am your friend, yes, with boundaries. I'm your mother first. So we have to separate this, place our boundaries, because too many times I'm seeing parents act like they are the children's bestie. Yeah, you're my bestie, and not a parent. So when you speak to the child will say, mm-mm. I have seen it happen. And I'm like, huh.
Society.
Yes. So too much freedom, too much leeway. And let me tell you, when you want to control this child and tell this child something, it will be too late.
You're right.
Because for so long we've been acting like sisters and
True,
besties.
true.
Why now you want to come and talk to
Two
me?
brothers, bro. Man,
Yes. Why now? The fathers, the way you model behavior to your sons. It's okay. Yeah, gasso. Yeah, you know.
Drink a thing.
Drink a thing. Look. And then when problem arise, you want to change your behavior. It's too
Right.
late. You have to start from young. Nip it in the bud. You need to nip it in the bud. Develop routine for your child. Edisa, after school, such and such and such. You wash your dishes. Afterwards, have your dinner. You take a break, whatever, revise, whatever.
Right.
Then go to bed at this time. Or if Edisa, as you said, play sports, Edisa needs to go on the field to train. Edisa, when you get home, go and train up to 6 o'clock, whatever. And if it's getting dark, you limit it to 5 o'clock. If the place is an isolated place, they're not. It's dangerous. I would go for my child.
True.
That's how I am. I would go for my child or ensure that somebody safe can go and accompany this
Right.
child. Okay? If it is 2 minutes past 5, 5 minutes past 5, Edisa is not home, I go and find her. Where are you? I'm on the ball. Oh, you take it for granted. 2 minutes can save a life.
True.
Okay, the difference. Don't take things for granted. Okay, so you develop this routine. And another thing again I wanted to say, parents, it is very, very important for secondary school children to have a set bus. And reason why I'm saying a set bus, then you can control what time your child gets home, what time your child leaves home. Because if your child does not have a bus, you cannot say, okay, you need to get home by 3 or by 5. Because if I'm waiting for bus, then is the time I get the bus.
So you mean they're supposed to have an allocated school bus if it's
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I think it's very important. Because if they do not have an allocated bus, a set bus, whichever, then you cannot control what time the child gets home. You cannot control anything. Because, for example, the child is going to school, say, in Viewfort, say Viewfort, right? And this child chooses that day to go and roam in Viewfort and tells you that I did not get a bus. What can you say? But if you have an allocated bus, that bus is leaving at a set time. You cannot tell me that you didn't get the bus.
Right.
Okay? So you need to put things in place where you can control it. If you cannot control a situation, there's nothing you can do. So we parents need to be more vigilant. We parents need to put things in place to be able to control situations. Okay?
Well said.
Yeah, I just have to agree. That's all.
Yes, because when you look at it, a lot of children are left like they're the adults. Sometimes I hear parents ask children, I am not saying it's wrong to ask a child what would you like to eat, but I think sometimes we give our children too much leeway that some of the children eat unhealthily, because many children now do not want to drink sauce. They will tell you, me, I don't want that, and it's healthy. They will tell you, give me chicken and fries instead. That is not healthy.
Recipe for disaster.
A little grand
Yeah.
provision, your vegetables and so on. Me, I'm not going to eat my vegetables. Let me tell you, I tell my children, if it is not poisonous, it's not killing you, you're not allergic to it, you eat it. This is what I provide, you eat it. Yes, I am not trying to shove things down their throats.
Right,
No.
right, but I get it.
But sometimes if it's the sausage you want and it's not healthy, and also I cannot afford it that day, so what will you do? eat what I provide. I'm not saying that every day I will shove breadfruit down your throat or whatever. No. But I'm saying that most of the times you will have to eat what I provide. As long as you cannot show me that when you eat your vegetables, you start bumping up, you're allergic to it,
True.
eat it. Okay?
Boy, this topic
Yes.
is a very sensitive yet important. This topic, there's so much we can discuss. A while ago, you made mention of children acting as if they're parents. But you have parents giving children the roles of parents,
Yes.
being the parents to the younger brother, younger sister, and they're unsupervised.
Let me
And you know, I tell you, we have 6 more minutes left, but it's that we can just.
I think that one there has both pros and cons, but it can have a lot of cons since we're speaking about behavioral issues.
Right.
With the cons, for me, you give the child the role of a parent all the time. So you believe, okay, I'm going to my fete every weekend, and you leave that child home, let's say, with the little sister, the little brother. And you expect that child to ensure that the house is clean, ensure that
Food
the
is cooked.
siblings
Yes,
are
yes.
fed well and everything. While, yes, that child might be developing some skills in terms of, yes, you're learning how to be a little
Responsible.
independent and cooking and whatnot. That's still like a recipe for disaster. And why? Because at the end of the day, when that child grows, they feel like everything has always been me and me and me. And so, as time goes by, you ask me to do something and I let you understand, I can't take that again. That's where rebellion behaviors begin. And then even with that too, let's say for instance, one of the siblings are maybe being destructive. What do you expect? Don't you expect that older sibling to maybe get frustrated to the point like, okay, I'm just going to beat you, because that's what they know, that's just society. And then with that too, that child grow up to have even that aggression, like, I'm frustrated with everybody and everything, because from early they've been having all of these pressures weighing them down. So while yes, it may have the pros, I think since we're talking about behavioral issues there are definitely some cons to it.
And they will also not just being rebellious and all that, but they too will say, okay, since I'm assuming the role of the mother, I might as well just act like my mother.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to be an adult, I'm going to be grown up, so parents, take up your roles and let children be children, because sometimes children are taken away from school, and I have a big issue with that.
Yes.
Taken away from school to stay home to babysit the younger ones. Parents, I understand sometimes, maybe once in a blue moon, maybe, and it's not even supposed to be happening. You can do it because life is not black and white. I understand that, but don't take it as a habit. Don't do it that children are missing out on their school to babysit their siblings and all. You need to make provision. You're the parent.
Right.
Make provisions to have that. Something you mentioned, and I wanted to make a point on regarding the frustration and the anger. Whilst we were talking about disciplining children, and you, Ellen, said that sometimes you get very upset when you've tried different measures of discipline, it's not working, you tend to resort to corporal punishment. Yes, but one thing, when you are very upset, do not beat. Do not beat. When you are very upset, don't. Because you're going to do things that you did not intend on doing. It is okay to walk away from a situation. Parents, walk away, go out, breathe, count from 1 to 10, walk away from the situation. You're not living it alone. Walk away, breathe, and then come back. Recollect, and then come back. Do not beat when you're angry. Don't. Walk away from the situation. Walk away. Don't discipline. Just walk away for now. Just walk away, breathe, count 1 to 10, recollect, and then come back to deal with the situation. Because any decision made when you're upset and truly very upset, most times these decisions are not the best.
Like a blur, like you just.
Right? Right. So, because all of us have a moment of insanity. So, walk away, breathe. Okay? And back to parents leaving the children in charge. Parents, you are the parent. You knew when you had a child or 2 children or babies that it would limit your freedom. It would limit the amount of time that you're out there having fun. Okay? So, know when you are going to have children, your responsibilities. These are your responsibilities, not the older children's responsibilities, yours. You have to fend for your children. And brings me to another point, a very ticklish point, parents. You use the children to go out there to do stuff, and that's it, the stuff. I have seen children, I'm not saying that children cannot help their parents, but on a school day, children with cakes selling by the road or going around selling cakes or sweets or whatever, or standing by, right, or standing by the mall somewhere selling all kinds of stuff.
She
Parents,
said on a school day. Don't forget that. On a school day.
yes, parents, be very mindful of that. And even having children on their own selling can be a recipe for disaster. It can be very dangerous. Okay? Did you teach your child that stand somewhere everybody can see you? How to handle your change? What if somebody says, "Oh, I forgot my money in the car. Let's go for it." Okay? And all these dangers associated to it. So if your child is going to help you, be there to supervise. Don't just send the child out there on their own, because this is why we call them children. And they need their parents' supervision, protection, guidance, and all. This is why under the age of 18 you called a child, because you're not ready to make decisions on your own and be on your own as yet. So parents, we have we have a huge part to play in the children's behavior, in how children behave and how they go ahead. I've heard parents say, "Makito by teacher." Makito, lo why they call teacher kai wan ho, makito by say teacher. Parents. And then you are the same parents. Let teacher wan jing. Pour venir. Huh? Parents, this is your responsibility to discipline your child. Discipline your child. Ekle di discipline ma do pon ba to ek ba yo kou. Oui, ma do commence hele de yo ek jiwe yo. Ma di sa. Discipline mwen di c'est pour apprendre issue. L'on apprendre issue. Et puis ou savent, OK. Si Olan fait un bagay qui pas bon, Olan, ou aime TV, ou pas qu'à TV pour 2 jours. C'est long behave qu'on va TV. Si elle dit ça, aime tablette là. Non. Aime phone nan plipe tablette là. Bon moi phone nan. L'on va apprendre behave qu'on va phone nan vie oui. All right? And most times these children tend to throw a tantrum when you take the phones and you take. Parents, you're not going to give in to them with their tantrums. I take the phone, you throw your tantrum, okay. Go outside and throw your tantrum. Go out of my house and throw your tantrum. You're not going to mash up my stuff in my house for your tantrum. It's okay to throw it, just go outside to do it. Okay, you need to put your foot down. You are the parent. Okay? You're not going to let the child be in charge. You are the parent. So a lot of it, and mostly everything that happens stems from home. It is how we from the way the child started. Okay? You're telling me that my 2-year-old, I give you, for example, I give you some juice or water or whatever in a cup. It starts from there. So simple things. I give you water or juice in a cup, a 2-year-old. You'll drink it and just send it under the chair. Or just fly it. And I say, wait, why are you doing that? And go and pick it up and tell me how you would behave to a situation like this, miss. A 2-year-old flinging a cup. What would you do?
Me being a parent?
Yes.
In my case, I don't think my child would be able to do that in the first place, because from very young you would understand, here is your cup. If you're drinking from it, this is where you put it when you're done. So whether you put it on the counter or whatnot, not under the chair. Under the chair is not for any bottles, anything of that nature. So that's me for one. In a case, okay, where on a bad day, let's say my child maybe did that, of course you're definitely in problems with me, because you would fit under that chair and go and get that bottle, because you would definitely know you didn't like going under the chair to get it, so you won't do it again.
Definitely. So don't just, oh baby, why you do that? And then go for it. No, you nip it in the bud. Nip behaviors in the bud. You're not loving the children more when you, baby, don't do that, behave. Oh, I hate another thing I hate seeing is that you find sometimes the children come to a mass with their parents and that child goes about beating everybody. Don't do that, come here. That's how he is. Hello. Please discipline your children, parents. Okay, it is really something. Yes.
All right. Hey, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Very informative show. Very informative show. 4 minutes after the hour of 12 minutes, that takes us to the end of Family Matters. My goodness, boy. As a parent, boy, my mom, my papa, can't point to where. Anyways, but hey, it's a cold hard facts, eh? Yeah, it's a cold hard facts. Hey, I want to thank both you wonderful ladies for being here with us today. Disseminated so so much information this Wednesday morning. Well, right now it's afternoon. Again, I want to thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all again, maybe next week or sometime in the future. Okay, I know both you guys are very busy, and I want to thank you guys for taking time out for being here today. Again, from us here, and I know a lot of persons. Hey, Facebook, big up. Sorry about that. Facebook. Shout out to all the comments on Facebook. Hey, from Vinel, Sigrid. Yeah, big up all you. All right, shout out to the Facebook, big up, and all you guys in Radio Land. Again, we want to thank you immensely. Again, ladies, keep doing the good work you're doing.
Thank you so very much, and I'm hoping that we are here more often. This year, I'm going to try my utmost to be here as often as possible. So, yes.
Okay, with that being said, enjoy what's the balance of it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
A wholesome and relationally healthy family is an integral foundation for a strong community and nation. The many social ills that plague our island need to be comprehensively addressed.